everybody, it's Modern Day Nana. Okay, so we are going to do a project today to get ready. I was trying to decide what to do for this wedding shower coming up. It's a couple's wedding shower, and I threw around like, cottagecore, and then I got on the line academia because they like books and they like art, and he went to school to be a history teacher, so then I kind of just landed on, let's do a more broad term of vintage. So we're doing some vintage projects, taking some old stuff and some newer stuff and working with that. So first of all, I just wanted to show you, I got this. Oh man, I wish I could, it's one of those once in a lifetime probably things. This is a roll of canvas, and I have already used this in quite a few projects. It is wonderful. It's a nice thick weight. So what I did with these were, they were a big old needlework that someone had done. I went ahead and put canvas on the back of all of them. I did that a while ago. So I'm going to just make a banner out of these, okay? That is my thoughts on that. So what I did was I went ahead and I had an old table runner roll from Hobby Lobby. It's literally been like 10 years ago in the fall stuff. They had these green and they had an orange, and I got them on clearance. Anyway, so I just went ahead and I cut the table runner up into squares. And if you guys have watched any of my stuff, I don't measure. So, they're not perfect, but I think that lends to the vintage feel, and I like things kind of messy. So yeah, they're kind of straight, okay? And that is perfectly fine with me. I just adds to the whole look. You'll see when we get it done. So I just had this ball of twine. I think I got this at Walmart in with the, there in the craft section. Seemed like it was with the jewelry stuff where the twine and stuff was. Anyway, and then I had gotten this stuff off of Amazon thinking I would use it for the wedding coming up. So we'll use some of this. And then this was an old, it was an old tapestry someone had done. I picked it up, and it's really thick cotton, and I just cut the pieces apart. You could use, as your backing, of course, excuse me, you could use anything. You could use an old sheet, you could use paper, you could use doilies for this. You guys, I'm going to show you the stack of doilies I've got, because we're going to make a doily garland, I think, out of that. And I guess with this would this be considered a garland or a banner? Anyway, you let me know. So I went ahead and cut the squares out of each of these for how many of these I had, and I took these and I cut them apart on that that old embroidery piece. You can still see the brown kind of, it was surrounding each one. And this thing is old, but this work is so beautiful. So I just glued this on this piece of canvas like we have underneath us. So we've got this. Oh, and then I had old dictionary. I've just got a big old dictionary. So what I did was I took and just cut it out the size I wanted it, and then to make it crumply, to give it a little bit more dimension, after I cut it out, I just wadded it up. Wad it up, roll it around in your hands, And then I just kind of made a pile and let them sit there for a while, and then I came back and kind of did it again. And that gives it just a nice texture. So that, whoopsie, come back here. So then when you open it up, you know, you've just got this other bit of interest in your piece. Okay? So that's what we did there. Let's go ahead and get this one together. And I'm just going to use some hot glue. I went ahead, as far as the back is concerned, I just went ahead and took a dab of hot glue, put my twine, laid my twine down, and then folded the piece over and glued it. Okay, so that way we have a nice finish, and I think this will be plenty solid. So I'm thinking vintage. They love, see, these are a little wonky, but I don't care. She loves vintage. They love to thrift shop. And they love to garden. Well, Alex really loves, I think he's more the plant person, so he's the gardener in the bunch. So I think, yeah, I think this theme, I'm going to kind of go with a gardening, kind of that botanical, not gardening really, but the botanical theme. Okay, let's get these glued down. I'm just doing a little, you know, just a little light. We just don't want them going anywhere. Okay? So let's just do one, and then I'll buzz through these. Now this has writing on it, so I'm going to make sure my writing is right side up. And like I said, anything you've got, if you've got some old stationery, and see how I'm not being precise. And I love this so much. I've actually had this piece, I picked it up, so, you know, get you a tub or a bag, whatever, and when you see things at the thrift store, pick them up. Oh, I love it. And this fabric is not, I could probably pull some off of the ends here and ravel it out a little bit. I'm not honestly going to worry about it. We've got so much to do, but there we go. All right, let me get this done, and then I'll show you the finished product. Pretty easy. Takes a little thought, you know, a little planning. How many layers do you want? You don't have to do 3 or 4 layers like I did. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 layers. But isn't that sweet and plain and simple? I don't feel like we need a lot of embellishments. Just this as it is. So that's all there is to that. Get you a bottom layer. Probably something solid, something to complement it, and then whatever piece you've got that you want to put on top. I see things all the time that could be cut up, you know, and a banner made out of. So let me get to gluing this, and I'll show you the finished product, and then we'll move on to the next thing we have to do. Okay guys, look how sweet this is. The hydrangeas are looking nice in the background, aren't they? This just goes around the shed. It's just actually one I planted for Mom's a long time ago, and it's just kind of taken over. And this is also a piece from Mom's that is the oak leaf hydrangea. Look how crazy that thing is. Beautiful. We've had so much rain. Anyway, let me get a close-up shot here. This is so precious. I'll probably end up putting it in the house somewhere because this is perfectly my style too. So, oh, so sweet, just blowing in the wind. simple but sweet. I like the added dimension of the dictionary page that I crumpled up. Messy but organized, right? And you can't tell that, you know, some of the well, actually all of it's kind of wonky cutting, but you know, it works. So love this. And it'll hold up, of course, beautifully inside and even outside. I just put it on a couple shepherd hooks. You know, you'd have to pull it in if it rained or anything, but for a party or something like that, it'd be great. Okay, on to project 2. Okie dokie, guys. All right, so I have more of this. See, this is a longer piece of it. I just cut it down. I actually cut the sides off of it. And this was part of that runner. Now, it's got gold flecks in it. I didn't really like the gold flecks for this project, but if you turn it to the back side, they're less. So we're going to use this side. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've got this rod. Do not ask me where I got it or what it's for. No idea. It's just a little like metal rod, but it's going to work perfect for our project. Something, you know, picked up in a thrift. I have got this old doily, which I've got a gazillion of them, but this is a perfect size. And then look at this. This came in a frame. I took it out and washed it. Look how beautiful this is. All the berries. That is so, I know, and you guys probably do too, most of you, if you've ever done a cross stitch or embroidery, that is some work. Look at the workmanship. You can see it on the back. Look at the workmanship on that. Is that not gorgeous? So we're going to make a wall hanging, okay? So I've got this, and then I thought, I don't know, for some reason, tell me what you think. I felt like this was maybe a little too busy behind it, so I just ripped up a piece of, it's kind of like a light creamy colored fabric, and I ripped it because I wanted the ends to be frayed. I didn't cut it. So I'm kind of thinking that, but then this is where this comes in at. I was thinking we could do this to tie it in. Or do we want to do it down here? Here? Or here? I kind of like it better. Now that I'm looking at it, I kind of like it better up here. I was thinking down here. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to have to turn it around. So let's get an idea though. So I was thinking we could see, look how perfect that is, that we could just hang it right on here. So I can go ahead and just glue all this down. You could sew it. And I think there kind of is a right and there is a right and a wrong side to this. This one seems a little wonky down here, which I don't mind, but I think I want the more even part up here. Okay, so I think we'll do that, and then we'll just leave this open where we can stick our rod in. So I'm just going to go ahead and tack this down a little bit. I'm just doing like a little streamer of glue. And you could use, if you don't want to use hot glue, I just figured the hot glue will help it stiffen it up a little bit. And if we felt we needed to, we could back it with something, but I doubt we'll need to. It's going to be inside on a wall, so it's not like it's going to be all over the place. It's going to be where it is. Okay, so let's get this glued down. Okay, and we'll go ahead and glue this one on top of it. It's going to do a kind of a light streamer of glue. Oh, hot glue makes my life so much easier. Although this would be really nice to sew, and you could go back in and sew it and not do glue at all, right? Just whatever you like. You know, I'm guesstimating here. That's kind of what I do. I feel like it needs to be up here a little higher. And you know, it's okay if it's a little wonky. It's an old doily. We're doing vintage here. And see how this is stained around the edges where it was in the frame. Oh, it says 1983. JR. Aww. Thank you, JR, for, see that? Thank you, JR, for doing this for us. I hope you got much enjoyment out of it, and we're going to get much enjoyment out of it. And this is so close to the same colors. This embroidery is so close to this. Oh, that's so precious. I love that you can see this down here in the corner. Love it. Okay. Well, we're making short work of this, aren't we? And then let's see. What do we want to do? There is a wrong and a right side to this stuff. Yeah, I think I like it. This is going to be kind of delicate work. It might take me a minute, guys. Okay, we got this all glued together. So cute. I'm sorry, but it is. All right, so our only last thing, you know, you can second guess yourself and piddle and mess. I'm going to leave it. Now I'm thinking maybe I should have glued it here. Again, tell me what you guys think. Or maybe I didn't need this layer and I could have just glued this and not had this just cotton underneath it. Oh well, it's done, it's done, it's done. We got other stuff to do. Okay, so look, even the yarn is vintage. This is so precious. Let's go ahead and just, this is the perfect kind of yellow-green color. Let's just go ahead and make a tie to hang it up with, and then if we get back to this, oh boy. Okay, well obviously I didn't find the start of the yarn. Let's just move on because we have lots to do. I'm not sure about the food. My daughter's handling the food part of it. So, her daughters, I should say. There, that's 4 times. Okay, so I think I'm just going to tie this around the outside here. Tie it in a little knot. we could cut these where they're looped. Give it like a little tassel. And then let's do the same over here. See what we got to work with, how much of a hang we want to it. Plus the yarn will probably loosen up a bit. So you can keep that in mind, but if that happens, you can just undo it and tighten it back up. Okay, well, hey, making this hard work when it does not have to be. So that's fun. Oh, did I get it in a knot? Yeah, I did. Let me do another one. Get all the little pieces in here. There, we'll just cut it off. There! I like it! All right, again, well, it won't be, whipping around in the wind because it'll just be on a wall, but I think this goes really well with the vintage cottagecore aesthetic. We've got old lace, we've got an old, embroidery, which is very vintage. Oh, here's it hanging on the hook. Super cute again, I love it. So yes, my mind is coming together out through my hands, right? That's what we hope will happen. Okay, on the next project, project 3. Alrighty, on to project 3. Okay, now this is just a print off from the Graphics Fairy, graphicsfairy.com, pretty sure. She has got tons of free printables you can use. I don't know about selling. I'm not selling my stuff, so, but I just went in there and looked up nature stuff. You can look up anything. She's got, I don't even know, thousands of free printables. So going with the cottagecore, nature, vintage theme, I saw these bees and really liked them. So what I did was just printed this one off, cut it out, and it's just on copy paper. So I took just a piece of scrapbook paper. It's pretty sturdy, and I just glued it to the back of this. Now what I did, this isn't going to be outside or anything, but still, I didn't want it looking, well, just like a piece of paper, flimsy. So I just took and sprayed the whole thing with just some of this clear satin, and it's nice. I mean, obviously, it's still a piece of paper, but, I think with the other embellishments, I think it'll be cute. So it's just got this thin trim of brown that we found. Now, I did cut out a piece of this canvas that's on this roll. Now, what I did was I took and ripped it because I wanted it to have, this is the end that's, the salvage. So it's, I think that's what you call it. So it's not ripped, but the other is. So we'll make this the bottom piece. We'll make the bottom the rip part. And rip it just like you rip the fabric. Take a little snip, where you want it, and then just tear it. And this obviously was tougher to tear. This was just, look how raggedy little thing. This was just a vintage, not sure, maybe like for a little little side table or something. But here's our little vintage doily. And here is our paper with our graphic on it. I'm not sure. I didn't really honestly think out the top. I've got this twine. So we might just do something basic. We could do, you could pick up another color. Oh, hold on. got it upside down. There we go. I think I'm just going to do this twine. So basically it's just a matter of gluing it down and putting a hanger on it. Okay, and we could embellish and we could do, but I don't want it to be too, foofy. So I think I'm just going to kind of be nice and basic. Sometimes that's nice, I mean, I've done the boho stuff, and sometimes more is more. I've said before, you guys, I am not a minimalist in any way, shape, or form. Am I a minimalist? I'd say I'm in between a maximalist and that, but that is your preference, and that's good because, I love going to the thrift store. You gotta kind of be careful. You can't bring home. I mean, you can bring home a card every time, but you have to start kind of, after a while, you kind of have to start curating what you're bringing in because you run out of places. But I say that, and then I say it's nice to have junk because then when you do a project, you got junk to go choose from, right? So, happy medium. I'm just going to, let me get another glue stick here. I'm just going to try to, stream this fairly thin so that it doesn't have a big gunky spot anywhere. And we can go back and do the edges if we need to. I'm just trying to not burn myself here. I think this is going to come together really well. And then if there's anything that we want to kind of cross over and we can use for the wedding, all the better. But I wanted to make the shower, it's a couple shower, so I wanted to make it different, but the same, in the same kind of family. That's what I was thinking when I started out. I'm like, oh, let's do cottagecore. Well, that's huge. That's a huge, broad category. Then I'm like, ooh, light academia sounds really like them. Artistic, love, very learned people, very, educated people, like the arts. And I think the vintage obviously comes into both of those kinds of aesthetics. So it's a win, win, win. And I get to use some of my junk. I've been digging out, so I'm just kind of trying to think of, make this about the same. I've been digging out what we could use because, we'll have to do the table decor. And I'm not sure what she's having for food yet, so we'll have to think about it if we, like serving dishes. I've got all kinds of old silver platters and trays and stuff. I've got all kinds of old glass. I've got some Depression glass. I was just kind of going through and seeing what all I could kind of get in a pile. I was thinking it would be cute. I've got some old vintage sewing stuff. I got some vintage everything, basically. Yeah, but what I was thinking was the round tables in the place we're having the shower, and so I was wanting to do something fun and eclectic on all the tables as decor. So I was just gathering my stuff up I've got a couple of good ideas as far as what to do for games. I didn't want to do traditional type stuff. I've actually, I don't know what kind of working order it's in. It was in my mom's stuff. She had an old croquet set. Wouldn't that be fun to have that out if somebody wanted to go out and play croquet if it's a nice day, which hopefully it will be. It's not too hot. But then I've got a couple other ideas up my sleeve. I'll show you in a couple of weeks. Oh, there it is. In a couple of weeks when I get them together, that are really non-traditional, but I think would be right up their alley. Stuff that they would enjoy doing, right? There! And I don't know. We'll see how this does. I don't feel like it's gonna like bunch up on us or anything. I could stick a little piece of cardboard in here, but this is really pretty stiff. Canvasy material. Now if we wanted to, we could just hide this, you know, if we don't want to see this. I don't mind it, but we could like just, you know, pull this under. Let me show you. We could just stick this under here if we don't like the looks of that knot up there. Okay, so if that looks nicer to you, that's an option too. Okay, all right. Oh, I got one more thing. Look at this little guy. Again, I've got so much of Mom's stuff. I don't have a dog, but they have a dog, and I got a bunch of succulents. This is real. Poor thing set out in the it rained and rained and rained and rained. But isn't he so cute? He is adorable. So anyway, we'll stick him in. He'd be cute on one of the tables. So lots of little cutesy stuff like this. I'll get out. Let me see. Maybe in a coming up video, I will show you all the kind of cutesy things, because I've got like a button collection. I've got some old vintage sewing stuff, some old aprons, some old hangers, old frames. We got lots of cool stuff to work with to make this super cute and super unique, okay? So, all right, I'm going to let you go for now. It's Modern Day Nana. You guys like and subscribe. We're going to be doing stuff for the shower and then stuff for the wedding. It's a Hobbit wedding. And we've got, let me see, oh boy, 3 months. Oh, Lord. All right. I'll see you guys later. Love you.